Urchin here, April 6, 2012. Let's look at some drawings I drew the past few days. Excuse the poor lighting, but here's a comic I drew today. First time I drew a comic. It's 9 panels. Yep. It's pretty simple, but if you want me to explain it, there's that guy sick on the bed, and his friend or brother or whatever knows that there's a flower that can cure him. So he's going out adventuring, looking for those flowers. And there he finds two of them. He has a big happy smiley face. He's going home. There's a bird eating a worm with the flowers. There's two, I don't know, trolls, monsters, whatever. One's holding a spear. There goes the spear. It's going in the sky, past the clouds, and another bird. And bammo, that guy's no longer alive. And two orcs, whatever, they high five, I guess. I wanted to avoid using dialogue. And there's that sick guy, I guess 6 months later. Yup. Plague comic. Remember that Father's Day stop motion I made? This was pretty much supposed to be the whole story. Yeah, it's very depressing. Here's a ninjago battle. There's supposed to be fracture due to his hat. And that could be any ninja. I forgot who fights fracture, but those are bricks for the wall, and there's a gate. It's way humongous, much bigger than the minifigures. Ninjago. I drew this a few days ago. So he has his katana, throwing a ninja star, and Fractal has his bone axe. Here's a zombie hunter guy. He has a fireman's axe and a shotgun, or it's supposed to be a shotgun. Here's his dog, but it looks kind of freaky looking. And there's a dismembered zombie. If you can't tell, those are supposed to be pools of blood. And there's some like random gravestone and a zombie hand coming out. Here's an ugly ogre. His right hand is freakishly tiny compared to the rest of his body. And his fist is pretty small too. I was looking at a picture of Guts from Berserk, and this is my very ugly version of that picture. Yeah, it looks nothing like him. Here's some random pictures that I just taped together. This was the first demon, but then the head was too round looking. So there's a skinnier one, more terrifying looking one. There's an ogre, but he looks kind of weird. I guess a cyclops. I like his face. And his arm is okay, and then the abs look kind of weird. They're sticking out. Looks more like a reptile abs. There's General Grievous head, and I don't know what that is. 2 dinosaur heads. There's a knight. looks very bad. This is supposed to be an ogre, but I went crazy with the veins, and it looks like hair instead. So he looks more like a gorilla wearing a freaky looking mask. Yeah, I wrote that. It looks like an ape instead of a ogre. Too many veins. Here's some random knight riding horse. The horse is humongous, and his head is tiny. That was supposed to be like the preliminary sketch, so it turned into that. Yeah, as you can see, very different looking. The legs are wrong. The lance is pointing the wrong direction. But I like the knight's helmet. And the streamer flag. Here's some sort of Rhino man. I guess bootleg Rhino from Spider-Man, Marvel Comics. I think he's missing an eye. It looks alright. The body looks kind of weird over here. Here's some sort of lizardman. I like his face. Yeah, I drew this first, then I was trying to make another lizardman, and then the head became roundish. And I was using the same teeth technique for all three of them. And this one is supposed to be a rabbit, but oh my god, look at his face. It looks like an orc or a troll or a goblin. Very angry looking rabbit. This is supposed to be a magic card, but yeah, it's pretty awful. Knight errant. I guess the knight herself doesn't look that bad, at least the face and armor part and the shield. And then the horse is just awful. And her leg is not that great. And the lance is like humongous. Bigger than her. I've been watching a show, Vampire Diaries, pretty cool. So I drew a vampire hunter. But actually, if you can read that, it's supposed to be a swordsman, but the sword was gonna like shoot through the page. So I turned it into a stake, and bam, vampire hunter. And his arms is bigger than his head. And this, I drew this like 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, so that's where I started using those vein techniques. I guess it looks alright if you don't overdo it. And this was supposed to be some sort of Brick Kingdom's unit guide for the undead faction. And of course I would, in theory, do it for every faction and race or whatever. So for the undead, there are skeletons, regular skeleton, armored skeleton, zombie, armored zombie, vampire, armored vampire. There's like a vampire count. Those are like test skeleton heads. They look kind of small. Might as well talk about it. For my undead faction, I would have, well, pretty much vampires have their own skeleton and zombie army. They create their own undead. And then there's like skeletons and zombies with their own brains, free will, led by Skeleton King. And then another undead army led by necromancers, raising zombies and skeletons. And skeletons are basically skeletons, and zombies are skeletons with skin on them. So when zombies lose enough flesh, they'll just become skeletons anyway. Not sure why vampires are also necromancers, but whatever. They need something inhuman to help them anyway. That's enough art for now. I'll see if I can draw some more later. Actually, I'm gonna be not present for the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna make one last video, like in 2 days. It's a I want to say it's a giant castle, but it's only part of a giant castle. But it has ninjas and skeletons, and some serpentines, whatever the correct one is. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.